Hello and welcome to Utopia News WARCAST. Welcome to year 2 for the Age of Ancestry. The date is January 8th, year 2. Your host Wind here. We're going to look at some of the wars in progress, some of the wars that have finished already, and we're going to go a little bit in depth into some of the wars that I wanted to take a closer look at. So we're going to dive right into that right away. First things first, though, I want to thank Elmo for helping me get into dark mode on the chart screen. Very useful little extension that everyone can download if they want. It's called Dark Reader for Google Chrome, and it basically converts all the white stuff to darker text. So if you don't like the white background, you can get it switched over, and there's a lot of customization options there. So thank you so much, Elmo. Big shout out for that. All the podcasts going forward will have that dark theme. So let's jump into it right away. All right, so we're just going to look at some of the wars on my chart here that I posted earlier on the news in Amuga. We got Unnamed Kingdom defeats Drunken Party. Metallic ends up pulling back ahead and defeating Pound Town. Finally, No More Dragons, thanks, has defeated How Come We Can't Fund Dragons. Looks like both of those kingdoms are probably happy to be in a ceasefire. Woods is still at war. WTF versus The Simpsons. They managed to take that one. Evil Friends took that away from Winx. So good job, guys. Pain Train, excellent work. Showing that less provinces doesn't mean you're going to lose the war. And Pirates, congratulations, Pirates. Beat the Tom Kingdom. I'm not sure if this is true or not. But someone stinky told me that Tom put all the effort he had, all the war effort he had into this war, but Pirates clearly dominated this one, so maybe Tom, if you were actually the war leader on that one, maybe you should just stick to Genesis. Definitely seems like that's more your thing, buddy. I mean, it's Pirates after all. I mean, good job, Pirates, but Tom. Anyway, that's enough ragging on Tom and Pirates for now. Pirates a great kingdom. Don't know if the same can be said for Tom. He's pretty good, I guess, but as good as Pirates, maybe not. I think some people in the community might agree with that statement. Sorry, Tom. We do love you, though. Thank you so much for your contribution. So let's jump into the wars here. Um, let's see who we got here first. We got, okay, so we're just looking at the quick review of the war wins. We got the Pound Town War here. I'm just going to switch my screens. Okay, Pound Town War, it was a great fight, but definitely, whatever happened before I pulled the news right at the end there, before our last report, was definitely a big, upset for Pound Town, and Metallic ended up walking away for that right after we finished the Warcast. So congratulations, Metallic. I mean, it should have been expected. There's some more news to look at this. I believe you're originally 5 provinces ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I believe 2 provinces may have left Pound Town. So, great fight. Metallic, I don't know what was going on your side. I don't know whether you're just playing around. But definitely should have been an easy win. So good job, Pound Town, for giving them a run for their money. I mean, you can see here, Pound Town kind of was losing a bit of steam at the end here. But as expected, with more provinces, Metallic should have had this war from the beginning. Moving on to the next war. We've got How Come We Can't Fund Dragons? Finally, No More Dragons. I mean, this is a clear, final Red Kingdom here. Just kind of walked away with this. So again, even kingdom numbers here, province numbers rather. Um, this was Red Kingdom's war to begin with. Yeah, I mean the honor says the same. Land, net worth, and honor all telling us the same thing there. So good job, Red Kingdom, for kicking butt there. Let's move on to the next one. WTF versus the Simpsons. I mean, this is another war that after the first wave was kind of determined. Simpsons unable to pull back. Honor-wise, it was a pretty tight war. I mean, Simpsons did manage to retain a good amount of honor, and it managed to stay in the upper position actually until the war bonus was applied for WTF. So, good job, Simpsons, for keeping that honor on your side of the field. Congratulations, WTF, for taking the win. Let's look at the next one here. We got Evil Friends again. Seems like they're walking away with it on the land side of things. Um, network side of things kind of telling the same story. Honor side of things, again, Evil Friends in control of this war basically after this May 6 point here. So shortly after our broadcast, they kind of took control of this again and walked away with the victory. So good job, evil friends. Let's look at the next one. Sorry about some of the colors here. I was messing around with some of the themes, and this is what you get when you play around with Help Theme Changer. I mean, I do have my thing in play right now. This is the Pain Train versus Constellation War. I think something may have happened to one or two of the provinces, maybe not on Constellation side. I think Pain Train may have actually only been one province down, but great job Pain Train for taking that victory. Again, showing that the smaller, less provinces doesn't really make that much of a difference. It makes it slightly harder on the honor side, but as you can see, is well worth the reward here on this side. So great job, Pain Train. You did a good job there. Let's look at the next one. Okay, here's the Tom Kingdom versus Pirates. Pirates clear victory on the land side. I mean, maybe there was some strategy coming up at the back end of this war here, but I just don't see, really what was going on here. Definitely just seemed like the Tom Kingdom was farming out to pirates. Tom managed to maintain some honor there, but basically it was just like letting pirates grow off them. So again, at least you made it look like a really strong victory, pirates. But Tom Kingdom, I don't know what happened there. Seemed like there was almost no plan at all. Um, so, Tom, if you were leading that war, maybe you can comment on that. As I said, someone stinky did mention that to me. So who knows if it's true or not. People like to troll a lot. All right, so that's it for the wars that are currently finished. So we're going to take a quick look at the wars currently in progress. Wow, it's a nice ad, actually. Don't mind those advertisements. Looks pretty sweet. Of course, this is my 1-1 account, so it is not gold for anyone crying foul that I'm some sort of fake gold or something. Last thing I want to do is give away my location, but as you can see, I'm playing True Dwarf here. I don't know, just wanted to see what it would look like. Haven't really done anything since I first started it, so there's a lot of excess, low net worth, blah blah blah. But that's not what we're here for. Let's go into the next war. So this is our target finder again, just to remind you of how many wars have actually happened over the past little while, and just take a quick look to see if we missed anything. Wishmasters versus the Core is still the most recent war that started. As you can see, I've got a bunch of the wars already primed up here. Let's dive in right away. Um, I do have some data for some of these wars, so we're going to look a little bit closer at them. I did want to check out what was going on with this 8 versus 8 war. Unfortunately, it looks like one of them lost one of their provinces here. Land side of things, it looked like a pretty even battle, definitely until that one province was gone. As you can see, there's a pretty big drop there. So definitely looks like Orc Melting Party is taking the lead here. However, I did want to take a moment to point out, some things in this war because there are dragons in play here. So the Kingdom of Epic Meme, that's 8-5 versus Orc Melting Parties 8-7. Now, the first thing first, neither side has any rituals. I don't think they ever had any rituals going into the war. They definitely don't have one ongoing. They're not even trying for rituals. 8-5 appears to have a ruby dragon ravaging their lands. Again, that's Epic Meme. Epic Meme in this case is the Blue Kingdom. Orc is the Red Kingdom, while Orc has nothing. So basically, we're just going to take a quick look at the dragon play here. Oh dear. Okay. You know what? I don't know if I'll be able to do my illustrations with dark mode on. I might have to play around with some stuff here to get this to work, but it definitely seems like this is, I'm gonna have to find a workaround for this. Maybe I can change that. No. No. Oh, that's not good. Let's try something else. No, it doesn't look like this is going to let me do this at the same time. Elmo, maybe you can help me find a solution to this problem, or maybe I just need to change the tool that I'm using with regards to yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to give me that option. to do this illustration here. That's kind of annoying, kind of dumb how extensions and these things don't work very well together. But anyway, on the news it's July 3rd, but on this thing it's going to be June 3rd. So around June 3rd, right about here, um, looks like 8.5. So again, 8.5 is Epic Meme. The Blue Kingdom received their Ruby Dragon, which after one tick was slain, they completed a dragon and it set flight to the enemy kingdom. It looked like, July 18th. So again, June 18th, at around here, they send another, Orc sends another, um, sorry, uh, the enemy sends, oh boy, okay. Epic Meme sends, this is really hard without these illustrations, but dark mode, is dark mode worth it? I don't know. We're gonna have to figure out something to work around this. Um, July 18th, it looks like Epic Meme is sending a dragon at the Orc Kingdom, but that is quickly slain. They slay it basically within the same tick, and then they send a Ruby Dragon back within the same tick, which again is slain by Epic Meme, not basically in the same tick. But then on July 24th, so that's June 24th on the chart here, right before this dip here, it looks like 8.7 has slain the dragon. So there's a lot of dragons going back and forth here. July 24th, looks like they started an Emerald Dragon, canceled the Emerald Dragon, and then began another Emerald Dragon. This is all Epic Meme, by the way. Then it looks like Orc Melting Parties proposed a mutual peace. January 5th, so that's actually July 5th here. A Ruby Dragon from Orc Melting Parties is uh, on Epic Meme again. And it looks like, okay, now at the same time, this is the other kingdom. This Epic Meme is losing their province on January 7th. So they've destroyed it and erased it because the leader was neglectful and peasants kicked them out. Let's see. Yeah, so that was it. So yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't look like this dark mode thing is going to let me show dragons. So I'm going to have to find a workaround for that. Unfortunately, these, as you can see here, these things are not compatible with each other. So I might have to go back into light mode just to show the dragon side of things, or disable that thing. Okay, so just a quick look at the Seraphim formatter here. Really not a whole lot going on in this war. I mean, what do you expect for a 8-province war? It's even hard to read this war because there's so little going on. Definitely, 8-7 in the lead, acres wise, damage wise, province wise, and dragon wise as well in terms of slay and send. So, it looks like orcs are going to possibly walk away with this one, but it's a pretty tight battle, especially if that other province was in fact AFK or, inactive the entire time. Meme did a pretty good job holding their position until right about the end here. And the last time we saw this dip was when Pound Town took a dip right at the end of our last broadcast, and they ended up withdrawing from the war. So that could be very well what's happening over there. Looking at the next one here, we got Spirit Drinks versus Barroom Brawl. So just going to take a look at the land. I mean, there's not too much in the land side of things. It definitely looks like a one-sided battle, but net worth tells a different story. A very tight battle, very strong waves on both sides. Looking at the honor side of things, again, kind of looks like the land side of things. Bars taking control, possibly making some honor hits there. It's definitely, we'll take a look once we look at the news for this one. Um, we'll look at the news right now. Okay, so the Seraphim formatter tells us, one kingdom is definitely ahead. that would be 511. So 511 is ahead in this situation. And 511, just to have my little notes here, is Barroom Brawl. So Barroom Brawl is doing a pretty good job here. With some extra attacks. Possible we just missed, we just saw one of their waves there. It looks like Spirit Drinks just had a wave, so if that's the case, that they fell kind of short there, unable to do enough damage, take enough back enough acres. I mean, definitely a few more attacks here on the Brawl side. Not too many 8 packets sent back and forth. Let's take a look back here at the Honor. Okay, so in terms of dragons and rituals, 511, again, Barroom Brawl, has an Emerald Dragon ravaging the lands. So they're just sitting on that. And they are also covered by a Godspeed ritual that's at 96.8% effectiveness remaining over 99 days. So that was definitely a powerful ritual. Overcast for sure. On the 6/6 side of things, that's Spirit Drinks. Emerald Dragon also ravaging the lands, and they're covered by an Onslaught ritual of 104.6%. That's lasting 86 days. So that was a very overcast ritual in comparison to that. There's not too much to show here in terms of dragons, so maybe we'll just skip the illustration on this one just because, again, there's not too much information here. It looks like on July 18th, which would be June 18th, which is about here. Um, Eastern Paradise has slain the dragon. So 511 slew the dragon that they had. Then it looks like on what would be June the 22nd, or rather July 22nd in-game, right about here, Strawberry Mojito has completed the dragon. So it sets flight to Barroom. Let's see here. Yeah, and then an Emerald Dragon. So right, and completed the dragon. Our kingdom has begun. So they started another Ruby Dragon. Emerald Dragon, you really surrender now from Spirit Animals has begun. Spirit Drinks has begun ravaging the land. That's on January 4th. So July 4th here. You can see, there's a bit of a dip here in Barroom Brawl. Um, and then Spirit Drinks goes on to start another Topaz Dragon. Really interesting news there. Yeah, okay, so they got that, and then they got that. Okay, so there's definitely Emerald Dragons on both sides, despite the other side kind of switching back and forth between, they started a Ruby Dragon project on July the 22nd, and then, they're both sitting on emeralds. It looks like 511 or Barroom Brawl is trying to send their next dragon as a ruby, and then Spirit Drinks has started a Topaz dragon to send at Barroom Brawl. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, it's clearly obvious that net worth is going down here from these Emerald Dragons. It's not too much net worth going down. I mean, certainly nothing like the Barco and Crosswords War. You can see that in the damage being done to the provinces here. There's only this one province over, minus 100k damage. They're not quite at min time yet, but definitely not too much damage going back and forth at singular provinces. I mean, this guy's pretty low, 100 acres. Um, but again, that's not too significant. Again, he's the most affected. Triple tap root beer is the most affected, seemingly, from this war. So good job, both sides so far. Keep up the fight. Um, Definitely looks like Barroom Brawl is in a good position right now. But again, this could be anyone's war. So, good luck, everybody. Let's take a look at the next one here. Lord of the Rings versus Unnamed Kingdom. So first of all, to start, Lord of the Rings has no dragon, while Unnamed Kingdom has a Topaz dragon ravaging the lands. Um, Lord of the Rings 2-2, we are covered. They're covered by an Onslaught ritual that only has 37.8% effectiveness left and can be lifted, or will be lifted in 81 days. So definitely not a fully cast ritual for 2-2. Again, that's Lord of the Rings. Um, in terms of the other kingdom, Unnamed Kingdom, they've got a stalwart ritual at 60.8% effectiveness left, and the ritual will be lifted in 95 days. Let's take a quick look at the news here. There's not too much going on. Um, Unnamed Kingdom has begun a Topaz Dragon project against us, and then 3 provinces, yeah, has been a neglectful leader. Yeah, so then 3 provinces, it looks like, have abandoned on 111. So Unnamed Kingdom, or sorry, on 2-2, um, 3 provinces have been abandoned. So definitely not good news for Lord of the Rings 2-2 in this war. They definitely seem to be at a disadvantage already just from the news that we're looking at here. They were definitely making some land gains here. And definitely, net worth and honor-wise, I mean, despite losing those provinces, they seem to be doing pretty well. Maybe the enemy hasn't realized that yet, but they definitely will if they watch this broadcast. Intel goes a long way, everyone. Make sure you're pulling news on your enemy to see what's going on. Always worth checking to see what's up there. But again, I mean, I've got 3 news polls here from 2-2 saying that, truant leaders or leader has been neglectful. Hopefully someone else will reinvigorate this mighty province. So, who knows what's going on there. This is a really strange war. You know, it certainly seems like Unnamed Kingdom should be walking away with this, especially, since recently, um, these inactive provinces were not even playing or something. I'm not even sure what's going on there. So, Unnamed Kingdom, if there is a time to pick up your socks, now would be that time, because it definitely looks like Lord of the Rings is walking away with this victory. Quick look at the Seraphim report here. This is again from the 2-2 side. Again, 2-2 being the Lord of the Rings. They definitely have more attacks going on here, so that would explain why they're doing well. Almost double the uniques. Quick look at the land being gained. Despite having lost 3 provinces or having 3 inactive provinces, they're doing enough damage to stay in the lead here. In terms of attacks, they've even got more uniques and more provinces marching. So, despite their inactive provinces being lost, it still looks like they might take this war. So, good luck to both parties. But definitely Unnamed Kingdom looks like Lord of the Rings is sneaking up on you, so be careful. You still do have some time until min time, though. So no need to think about withdrawal just yet. Still 16 hours to go, guys. So good luck with the rest of your war. We're going to look at our last war. We're looking in detail here because the other ones have kind of not really gotten to the point yet where we can get anything decent out of them, just not enough data of the war itself. Of course, there's plenty of news, but it's probably just endings of ceasefires and things like that, and maybe a wave or two, but that's not really important when it comes to looking at these necessarily. We can always pull that information a bit later on to see what's been going on, especially if one entered at a disadvantage going into the war. It's usually pretty noticeable in the target finder. But as you can see here, we got our dyslexic defender friends versus Unknown Kingdom. One thing that I forgot to do because apparently I'm dyslexic was to shout out their #1 province, literally position 1 from the last war. So I'm going to do it now. So shout out to I have Daily Sexia, province #1. You know, your kingdom members wanted to shout you out there. So apologize for missing you on the last one. I did shout out some random name that didn't quite make sense. Um, again, dyslexia strikes again. So looking at this war, 310 being defenders is what we're going to call them, and Unknown Kingdom is 412. So our friends defenders, they have no dragon, just like 412. Unknown Kingdom has no dragon on them. Defenders is covered by an onslaught ritual that's currently at 99.2%, and the ritual will be lifted in 86 days, so an overcast ritual for them. While Unknown Kingdom 412 is covered by Godspeed ritual, 96.9% effectiveness left, and the ritual will expire in 85 days. So again, it looks like they've overcast both their rituals. There's not too much dragon play here, so again, it's fortunate in this regard because my illustration is not quite working with this dark mode that I have just implemented for this current video. Hopefully I'll get that working for next time. But again, I pulled the news on Defenders, and it looks like they, on July 20th, so again, June 20th, around here, they sent a dragon at Unknown Kingdom, um, and started a Topaz dragon project named Emerald, and pointed it at Unknown Kingdom 412. From the enemy side of things, it looks like on January 1st, so July 1st, it looks like they slew the dragon. So maybe part of that little bit, part of this net worth drop here is them slaying the dragon. And it doesn't look like, as you said before, there's no dragons on either of them. So, again, 35 hours. We got about 13 hours left in this war. Definitely looks like Defenders is on track to take this one. So good job again, guys. I mean, you had a bit of convergence here. You took control of the honor. You brought Unknown Kingdom down, and now you're controlling your position. They are one province short, however, so it does make sense that they dropped the honor a little bit quickly. If they had that extra province, but definitely strong strategy here on Defender's side. Again, we're looking at no dragons on either side. There was one slay, which possibly hurt 412. As far as I can tell, Defenders didn't actually slay a dragon, so they might have a troop advantage from that. Again, Defenders has an onslaught ritual to 412, that's Unknown Kingdom's Godspeed ritual, basically at the same level of effectiveness. Defenders a little bit higher, so they're definitely getting a lot of kills, and 412 or Unknown Kingdom having slain that dragon definitely doesn't help them in the military department either. So hopefully, they either find their footing, or Defenders, solidifies their win here. But definitely looks like this war is headed in their direction. So again, I apologize to you guys. Shout out again to, I have Daily Sexy. I mean, that sounds pretty funny. Good name, by the way. Let's move on to the target finder here, or sorry, the Seraphim here. Equal number of attacks, more acres, however, on the Defender side. Looking at the breakdown here, definitely some serious damage done to them, but also some pretty decent damage done to the enemy as well. I mean, 34 attacks, 22, 19, 22, those are some pretty good chains, versus the other side. The maximum hits on this guy was actually 29, so Martian, that's interesting. That province took a lot of hits, so we're not sure exactly what types of hits Martian took. Just a quick look at what Martian is here. Martian is a fairy. Interesting. Okay, so maybe that they attacked a TM there. I'm not quite sure what happened there. There's no massacres or anything though. Lots of ambushes on the enemy side. That probably didn't help. Some very weak looking raises as well. So not sure what's going on there. I mean, you're definitely seeing the Godspeed ritual at play here in terms of the unique level. But still, you got this one guy up here, five uniques, and then 3s and 2s. But, clearly this isn't enough for 412 to keep up a reasonable amount of aid packets being sent in this war. Still some time to go, so good luck to both sides. Quick look at the wars that are currently, when did I pull this one up? Woods. Oh yes, okay. So the Woods War still currently in progress. They're one province over. However, they are winning the land war and the net worth war, which is kind of what we expect from a kingdom that has a better position to begin with, and an extra province for sure. Definitely looking at the net worth, so the honor side of things, it doesn't look like Flirting is going to be able to pull back on this one. The Woods definitely looks like they're going to walk away with this war for sure. Downward trend here, possibly dragons at play here. Definitely, if anyone wants to share any information with regards to rituals or dragons currently going on the war. However, I think regardless of that information, it's a strong performance by the Woods, and they're definitely on track to take this war. So good luck, everyone, and good warring. Let's check on to the next one. Get a job versus get a hand job. They're definitely playing. I wonder if they have some banners going back and forth. It would be nice to see some taunt banners. However, I think with the names that they have, may not be very appropriate. This war is only 20 hours old, so less than a day. Excuse me. Okay, so get a job and get a hand job working, fighting pretty hard back and forth in terms of the land. Looking at the net worth side of things, definitely get a hand job in control of the war seemingly. Looking at the net worth change to see the stacking damage here. Definitely more damage on get a job side, as seen in the net worth charts here. Is it real damage though? Let's take a look at the change in land. Yes, I mean there's some pretty significant damage on this side to the provinces here, but still, got a good cluster under 300 acres. So definitely strong control here. But the question is, whether will they bleed out their troops? Will they clear their overpopulation by releasing army? What are they going to do there? But currently, it definitely looks like the Blue Kingdom is in the lead. Quick look at the honor side of things. Tight war. I mean, this definitely looks like it still could be anybody's war. But looking at net worth only, definitely looks like Blue Kingdom is in the upper position. So good luck to both sides. We'll see how this one plays out. If Red Kingdom manages to make a bounce back or manages convergence on the net worth here, I will pull some news and some thoughts and see what's going on there, to see what kind of big plays are going on. This is an even war on both sides, so it's interesting to see, what Get a Hand Job is doing here. I would think probably some dragons are in play as well. Could be they just picked a better ritual as well. We'll know if we pull the intel, or if anyone already knows, definitely share that with me and I will share that in the next podcast, depending on what else is going on the server. Let's take a look at the next war, Ghetto Nightmare versus Chaos Neverending. Two serious warring kingdoms that have no problem usually going to war. One province short on Ghetto Nightmare. Chaos Neverending, is in a seemingly stronger position here, and it definitely shows on the land side of things. They're controlling land right now. They're controlling the net worth as well. So again, that's common to see when you have two equal skilled or very skilled warring kingdoms, or kingdoms of equal skill fighting each other. When the one has less province, it really comes down to who makes the first hit, and what kind of damage is done on the first hit, and how effective that damage is, of course, and then lasting damage throughout the war. This war has only started about 11 hours ago, so plenty of time to go. But a very strong indicator, seemingly favoring Chaos Never Ending for this war. Good luck to both sides. I've fought both of them many times. Definitely great opponents. Good wars to have. Um, Kind of fun to see them fighting each other, although, it definitely looks like it's a little bit one-sided on, of course, on Chaos's side. Definitely Ghetto Nightmare if you're able to pull this one back. I'd love to see that. So give it all you got. Let's check on the next one. Looks like we got a smaller war going on here. What do we got here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 versus 13. Okay, so it's slightly larger than that Orc War. Definitely a close war, only 10 hours in. This will be another one similar to that micro war, the 8 versus 8 that we were looking at now, 8 versus 7. I'll probably pull the news on this one on the next WARCAST just to see what's going on with these smaller kingdoms, to see what these wars look like. I mean, a lot of people are pushing for smaller kingdom sizes, but at the end of the day, you get these kind of weak-looking wars. Not to say that they aren't doing a good job, but I mean, the way the game was meant to be played, you don't get to see that too much here. And there's definitely a measure of fun when you have, like a full 20 plus member kingdom fully rocking on war. I mean, it's a different atmosphere. Can be a different atmosphere. Old geezers versus war. Let's go. Again, this is a very early war. Not too sure who's going to walk away with this one. However, if we just look at the net worth side of things, and currently it looks like Blue Kingdom is in the upper position. But looks like Red Kingdom just lost a little bit of some steam there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens by Mintom on this war. Let's move on to the last one here. We got the Wishmasters War that we were talking about before versus the Core. Again, two kingdoms that normally war quite often. Both sides on equal numbers. Quick look at the net worth change here. Um, you know, Pretty good damage both sides, almost one for one in terms of provinces damaged. However, the actual damage is much more significant on Wishmaster's side. I mean, they're almost at 250,000, and while Core is barely below, zero even, so they didn't take too much damage. Core definitely had a very strong wave that time. You can see it right here. They took a or they lost a good chunk of land, but they took it back right away and then some. Let's look at the net worth side of things. Similar story. Wishmasters had their wave, did minor damage to Core. Core had their wave and did significantly more damage to Wishmasters by the time the wave is done. Almost creating one line of separation here, which is fairly significant for the starting of the war. Looking at the honor side of things, again, even. Again, the Core in the upper position here. I don't want to say anything or make any decisions too early, but definitely looks like Core is definitely doing a lot more damage. That's all I'm going to say now. Um, good luck and good luck to everybody, and hopefully we'll see some new wars soon. Definitely going to review some of the wars tomorrow, of course, as usual. We're just going to take a quick look at wars and if anything has changed or if a new war has started since this podcast has begun. 8 hours is the Core versus Wishmaster war, so no, nothing new has begun since that time. So again, we're just going to take a quick look at the wars that happened today since our last podcast. Again, just a quick recap here. 510 defeats 5-6. Metallic walks away with the war on Pound Town after a strong performance from Pound Town. 6-4 defeats 4-2. WTF defeats the Simpsons. Evil Friends defeats Winx. Pain Train takes a tough victory and beats Constellations. Great job, Pain Train. Pirates beats the Tom Kingdom, and the rest are currently at war. So thank you everyone for joining me today. Is the end of the day, January 8th, year 2. Again, it's your reporter, Wind, signing off.